Okay, so the prevention didn't work as well as we wanted. You're caught in the avalanche. What do you do now? The most important thing to remember is that you will be counting on self-rescue. There's not much, you cannot count on external rescue unless you're caught in one of those big avalanches and you're caught in a house, but those are extremely rare, and we're talking about a different kind of avalanche. So you're caught in it, so what do you do now? Well, they say, like you can kind of swim and try to stay above. Apparently, some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. The other thing too, try to get rid of your equipment. So, for example, your backpack and everything. And there is the importance of sometimes carry some basic survival gear on you at all time. For example, something to start a fire. So, on my neck, I always have something to start a fire. I always carry a knife on me. I'm working on which one I'm going to carry now, but I'm carrying like a little folder always on me, so that way whatever happens, I have at least this. Get rid of your backpack, so when you're about to traverse a avalanche zone, try to unbuckle your thing and your buckles, and your transmitter. Always have it near you, not over your clothes, but at the closest of your body as you can, because snow obviously can come and just tear off your clothes out of you, so you have to have it as close as you can from you. The most important thing is so basically that snow, when it comes and the speed is going to come, it's going to feel almost like concrete or cement. Not that I speak like for experience, but that's what they say. And basically, what you want to do is make a air pocket in front of your mouth. And we're going to see why you want to do the air pocket. So there's this great little, show you a little bit quickly here. There's a great research, and I'll put a link at bar. It's called Triaging Multiple Victim in Avalanche Setting. A few doctors, actually they're from, some of them are from Banff and Calgary, they're from around here, and it's not because they're Canadian and I'm doing that presentation, but it is well done, and it's basically what it is. It's a little kind of algorithm, and we're going to go through it, a little bit algorithm on how you can extract people and decide, for example, who you can do something about and don't do. In first aid or in medicine, we have something called triage, which comes from our words in French mean trier, which means separate different people from. So what you do in this case is basically decide who you can start CPR, who you don't know. There's a few cases, and we'll discuss in a future video, that CPR is worth trying in the wilderness area. And so the real important thing here, there's kind of two or three things to determine those people that comes out. And the first one of them is what they call a, do you have a, if there's an air pocket in front of the people, so when you dig them out, is there an air pocket in front of them? And the second thing is that the temperature. So how do they feel like it? And you don't need a thermometer to calculate. Just with signs and symptoms, you can most likely say people what kind of temperature they have. And the third thing is, do they have snow in their mouth? If they have snow in their mouth, and basically they don't have, they don't show any sign of viability, it's almost, depending of the time frame, it's almost useless to start CPR on those peoples. The reason is that the studies and shows, and you can help other people. That it's one concept is difficult when you do triage and we have multiple victims. It's the you cannot, if you're 6 people for one person, then it's a little bit different than if you're one person for 6 people. And in triage, what you're always trying to do is try to save as many lives as you can. And you need to keep that in your head. And obviously, every life is worth it. But if I save 1 and let 3 die, is worse than if I save 3 and let 1 die. And so this is the whole concept of triage. And so over here, basically hypothermia. And so basically, what they look at is that you're wondering, for example, if the person is conscious or non-conscious. If they're not conscious, then the second question is, are they breathing? If they are not breathing, then start your process. And obviously here they talk a little bit about ALS, so advanced life supports, so intubations and things like that. We'll cover a little bit airway management in future videos, but there's some stuff you could do over here if it would be able to help. Is there fatal injuries? Would be the third question. So fatal injuries are basically, there's many things you can die of in avalanche. The first thing would be that hair pocket. So basically you breathe back your CO2. So basically that hair pocket, what it does is that, so as you can see with my hands over here, as I leave over here, I can breathe in. Snow is filled with air, and basically oxygen is in air, so you can breathe through this. What happened though is that as I breathe out, I breathe as well heat, and the heat that comes out of my lungs crystallize and form ice around my mouth. So a bigger air pocket that I have, better it is. But the problem is when I breathe out CO2, so basically CO2 is the byproduct that we produce through our lungs, that can go through the snow and can evacuate. It's a little bit like those little bubbles that you have when you have a Sprite or a Coke. They go out of the fluids. Well, it's a little bit the same thing with the snow. It's just they stay in the snow and kind of goes. The problem is that when you have this ice that starts building up in your around your mouth, that the CO2 cannot go through it. And what happened then is that that pocket now is a big piece of ice, and that piece of ice now when you breathe the CO2 comes back to you. And it's almost like if you would put a bag over your head, and that's how you die when you put, and you die of hypoxia. Basically, you're breathing your own CO2 and you don't have any oxygen, and then suddenly at one point you die. So that's one way you can die of avalanche. The second way you can die as well is hypothermia. So let's say you have a big, large hair pocket, or even you have an avalanche, but nobody found you, or you're way under too much snow. And basically what happened is that now you get cold and you die of hypothermia.